Hello friends and welcome back to MOVIEZ Villa. Today we will talk about the movie The Babysitter. It's a 2007 English drama film. Spoiler alert. This video contains spoilers for this movie. Now without wasting time, let's get into the video. The movie begins with a voice-over by Shirley Linner as we shown her babysitting service, a cabin with middle-aged men and teenage girls. And then a flashback takes us back in time, where Shirley was studying in her high school. After that, when she reaches home, a guy named Michael Beltran picked Shirley for the first time for a babysitting job. Michael and his wife Gail meet with Michael's friend Jerry, who has a business offer for Michael. Gail is frustrated that Michael wants to take it, while Michael gets curious about an abandoned train yard behind the restaurant that Gail shows no interest in. After she is finished, Michael is going to drop Shirley at her home, but on the way Shirley's stomach started growling. And they stopped at a restaurant. They dined together and they both started to flirt with each other. Michael is frustrated with his wife and Shirley finds guys her age to be too immature. After that, Shirley asks Michael where Michael and Gail first met. Michael tells the whole story and asks Shirley if she wanted to see that place. And they both went to the same place where Shirley and Gail went after the dinner with Jerry. And they started to playing and throwing stuff. Suddenly cops' car arrived. And they both started running and hide in one of the abandoned train compartment. And Michael started to come closer to Shirley and they both kissed. They eventually come to a conclusion that they couldn't do that anymore, but Michael pays Shirley extra to keep quiet about the incident. Some days after that, Shirley is out with her friends and Michael is also at the same restaurant. Gail sees Shirley and asks her if she is free on Thursday for babysitting and she agrees. On Thursday night they both starting doing sex at Michael's car and he again gives money to Shirley. After Shirley reaches home, she combined all her money and wrote "trouble" on money. Melissa discovers the truth about babysitting outings from Shirley. And Michael tells Jerry about it. Michael asks Shirley if any of her other friends can babysit for Jerry. Shirley asks Melissa and fixes both of them meeting. Shirley asks her for 20% of the money as her cut, to which Melissa agrees. After that, they attend a party at Brenda's house. Shirley is sad and sitting alone. Melissa asks Shirley what's the deal. Shirley said that she got 2 more calls from Michael's other friends. Then they both discuss with each other whether to ask Brenda or not. They convince Brenda to take the babysitting job as well. Brenda is unaware of what they have to do. Brenda feels uncomfortable, but later she lets the man do his thing. Michael phones Shirley, but Shirley interrupts, saying that she is babysitting for another man. The girls set up a working business, going so far as to have business cards printed up. Michael learns that Shirley is babysitting for so many men, which makes him uncomfortable and upset. Brenda went to her rough and aggressive younger stepsister Nadine, and showed a new jacket to her, and asked if it's looking good on Brenda. And then Nadine feels jealous. And then Brenda told Nadine that if she also wants to buy her favorite jacket, then she can help her. And invites Nadine into the group without checking with Shirley. Next morning Shirley asks Nadine for her cut, but she denies, but later she agrees and gives her 20%. Some days later, Nadine soon starts her own competing business behind Shirley's back, and Shirley starts to lose customers. Shirley confronts Brenda and Brenda agrees to search Nadine's room. She reports back that she found nothing. Later that night, both girls and Michael, on watch, Shirley and Melissa search Nadine's locker but find nothing. They end up trashing the school to hide their true motive. The next day everything was destroyed, which called for a mandatory assembly. During the assembly, Shirley calls the girls to the band room to discuss the issues. Shirley then tells Nadine to stop going behind her back and doing business without her permission, and that she gets 20% of all their cuts. Then they all are dismissed. Melissa presents Shirley with fake permission slips for a trip to Jerry's cabin for a weekend. All girls make believe their parents that they are all going on a school trip, while the men will be there on a business retreat. Jerry comes to Michael and gives him a drug pill. Michael sees Shirley with other guys at party, which makes Michael uncomfortable. Then Shirley searches and finds Michael, and she is stripped naked in front of him. After that, Michael gives Shirley a drug pill. While they are all having fun, Brenda started getting sick after taking that drug pill, and locked herself in a bathroom. Jerry asks Brenda if she's okay or not and asks Brenda to let him in. After he unlocked the door, Jerry came in and attempts to rape her because he's high on drugs. Next day we saw Brenda babysitting for Jerry's kids. She gets so frustrated and calls her brother Scott. On the next scene we saw that she crazily runs to Scott and told him to drive off. After they reached home, she slammed her room door and Nadine then go to her room. We saw Brenda on campus and then Shirley showed up. Brenda told Shirley that she cannot do this anymore. Later Melissa came to Shirley's house and Shirley told her everything, and then Melissa told Shirley that they cannot let Brenda go, otherwise she's gonna tell everybody. Then we see Scott is going back home. Suddenly 2 men came in and started beating Scott, and threatened him to tell his sister to be quiet or otherwise they gonna kill Brenda. Later Shirley saw Scott and found out that someone had beaten him, and confronts Melissa at lunch and asks her if she did that to Scott. And then Melissa cleared that she did this for Shirley. After that Shirley gets upset. Michael comes back from the office and tells his wife that he got a demotion, and they both start to argue. And then Gail tells Michael that she is not going on a date with him and goes somewhere else. Then Michael goes and tells his son to take care of his younger brother and order pizza. Then Shirley got a call from Nadine and she told that she has to cancel her meeting, and then Shirley gets upset. Later that night Michael and Shirley meet at the same place where they first met and they have a conversation. Michael says sorry that he forced her to take that pill that day, and tries to encourage Shirley to run away with him, but she denies. Then Michael tells Shirley that she is the only thing that Michael loved in 15 years. And tells that he wants his old Shirley back. But Shirley tells that it's too late. Shirley reminds him that this is just business and he's cheating him. And then a cop arrives. Shirley hides and the cop tells Michael to leave. Michael leaves Shirley alone and drive off. She then tries to contact Brenda, but Scott picks up the phone, telling her that Brenda cannot talk and Nadine is babysitting, and tells her to stop making calls or he will file a case against her. She hears that Nadine is babysitting without her knowledge and calls Melissa, who is with Jerry, and they go to confront her. They soon arrive and Jerry finds Nadine and gives her to Shirley and Melissa, who then threatens to throw her off a building. With Nadine almost falling off, Jerry pulls her back after beating up the man in the vehicle. Shirley saw the man and went speechless, and then she discovers that it is her own father was having sex with Nadine. She then breaks down and starts to cry. The movie ends with another voiceover by Shirley. Shirley talks about how what she did was wrong, and that she could never forgive herself for having become more or less a prostitute. Across the street from Michael's house, Shirley sees Michael interacting with his family. He glances over and then walks off, leaving Shirley, who then drives off. And that's it for today's folks. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, then please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.